Hello and welcome again to NAMM 2018. It's very early here. I've never been up this early, I don't think. I'm here with the lovely Trevor at the Sontronics. How's it going, mate?
Very well, thank you very much.
Yeah, good, lovely. And you've got a few new bits of kit out, new for NAMM, right?
We do indeed, yes. Yeah, let me introduce you to our three sort of star products for the show here. First of all is the Sigma 2, and we have the Delta 2, and then above it the Apollo 2 ready for launch. So let me explain to you what these products are. Some of your viewers might already be familiar with the original versions of these microphones. They're ribbon microphones. The original Sigma was one of the first active powered ribbon microphones on the marketplace, which we launched in 2006. So it's been around for quite a while now.
Wow, yeah.
It's earned its reputation in the market of being a class leader, really. It's got very long exposed frequency bandwidth, and has a very, very high sensitivity. So it works with practically any preamplifier without any fuss. Typical ribbon sound, but a little bit of extended high frequency.
Love this shock mount as well.
Thank you.
So innovative. I love it.
Well, this new model, we decided, look, it's time to sort of upgrade things a little bit, take things a bit higher. Where we can improve, we will. We never rest on our laurels.
It looks it at first glance. It looks beautiful.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
It's a lot of engineering's gone into this, so we've put a lot of precision here. So CNC milled side cheeks, a little bit of identification with these torque screws here, so that from a distance you can identify the microphone.
I like that.
Little bit of information. The grill material is a high-grade stainless steel, a lot stronger than the previous one. The reason we've done that is a lot of people were taking these microphones out of the studio, so they do need to be a little bit more robust, so we're taking care of that. Now, inside the microphone, the important parts, we've kept the ribbon transducer exactly the same, so it's still the very fast dynamic frequency response, high transient response, 1.8 micron ribbon material, super high density magnets, so they're extremely strong, hence that high output. But the electronics are a whole new game. We've turned this whole thing into a made in the UK microphone. It's a big deal for us here, and electronics are now incorporating an RF filter in the circuit, so if you're taking this out in an environment where there's a lot of radio frequency around, you don't have to worry about any interference now. Importantly, we have made our own custom wound transformers, which are being manufactured about a mile up from our offices in Poole in Dorset. So,
oh, you're from Dorset? I'm from Weymouth, mate.
Hey, really?
Hey, mama.
Fantastic.
Dorset, that's it. It's home of the blues and the home of awesome Mike. That's great. We're going home on a Sunseeker together.
So, I mean, exactly that. So I was searching for
Well, you were selling to me before that. Now I've got to get one.
Trying to find a transformer manufacturer, and you think, well, this is old technology, so it's not going to happen. And I didn't really want to use any of the sort of common branded ones. Not that there's anything wrong with them. But
and the great mic brands of our time go that far as well. I love that you're going to that detail.
And we're trying to find it. So when I started searching and found like a mile up the road is a company that's been there for 42 years making the world's transformers. I showed them what I wanted and they're like, yep, sure, we can do that. And boom, in it went.
This week I've been mostly making.
But don't stereotype.
No, I'm from there. I'm fine. I'm from there through and through, mate.
But the bottom line is the difference when I put that transformer in that circuit. It was an epiphany again. It was one of those moments where what, without being arrogant, what was already a wonderful microphone suddenly turned into something astonishingly strong and robust. And I've described it as fortified. If the original Sigma was a fine wine, then this is a vintage port. It's got that sort of big taste to it, and it still maintains all of the original presence and detail. Now, this microphone, for those people that didn't know or have never used ribbon microphones, it's suited to stringed instruments, guitars, pianos, violins. It loves all high frequency bias sources, so it takes care of the top end really gently without any sort of high scratchy presence or over detail. It's beautiful for spoken word. Some vocals, not all vocals, are suited to it.
Right.
It loves woodwind instruments, so saxophonists absolutely love this because again it takes care of the sort of scratchy highs.
Keep the musicality of the ribbon, but you've got the high end with the circuitry you've put in.
And really an intimate sound, beautifully presented. Now, I'm a guitarist, and we found that again this works so well with guitar amplifiers. However, we found that as most other guitarists, we don't like to be told to turn our instruments down. and because the ribbons are delicate, too much sound pressure can cause the ribbon to stretch or potentially break early. So I designed the Delta, the original Delta, for guitar amps. Now this is Delta 2. It's again the same concept as the original Delta. The main difference is the transformer in here is 12 decibels lower in output. So what it does, it attenuates the incoming signal and stops the internal preamplifier from
saved us a
overloading.
job as well.
There you go.
Yeah, and
there you go.
You saved us a job.
So we now have a dedicated microphone that's been upgraded, specifically working for guitar amps, but also other high sound pressure level, high SPL sources, trombones, trumpets, those sort of seriously high output.
Back from a kick drum, maybe. You the one
can
mic over the kit.
do it, and it works astonishingly because, again, with this upgraded transformer, the low and low mids are so forward. They're really powerful, huge amounts of energy. So yes, I wouldn't put this in a direct line with a kick drum because there's a huge amount of attack.
But I've been doing it a lot with a ribbon set back. To
you
get
can
that
take
kind
it
of
off
trash
axis,
mic sound.
and that's the beauty with these. You can put them off axis and they come away from the blast. Something that we've also done in these mics is upgraded. There's an internal pop screen, which I can't show you here. It's going to be a patent pending, I think, at some point. But the bottom line is it's got an additional screen in there which takes the initial blast out without actually interfering with the frequency response. So that's those two mics. They're sort of, as I say, an upgrade and a real evolution in terms of engineering quality and precision. The next step is something I'm extremely proud of, the Apollo 2.
Right.
Now, the original Apollo, some of you may or may not have seen it, but the original one had a very trapezoidal grille. It was reminiscent for me. I was inspired by a skyscraper in Shanghai where we were working at the time, and I thought that's a really interesting shape. So we turned it into a microphone, and it became extremely popular. It's a stereo Blumlein ribbon. So the two ribbon elements are crossed over XY and effectively turned 45 degrees face on. So you have a left-right at the front and also a left-right at the rear. So these ribbons are naturally figure of 8, of course. So what you've got is a kind of a pseudo surround sound microphone. It's designed specifically for orchestral, choral recording, distance recording for rooms, drum overheads, and such like. Now, when we found that, again, a lot of those microphones were extremely difficult to manufacture, if they took a tumble accidentally, the grill was so difficult to make, it was incredibly impossible to actually repair it and very expensive. So I thought, well, how do we evolve? How do we change this? And what we've done is we've made a cylinder, and the beauty of this now is this is actually a unique thing. It's laser welded. So the seam in the microphone, if you can find it, you're not touching it.
Right, yeah.
It's actually here, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got a laser welded seam. So it is effectively a seamless cylinder of mesh. And that's an incredibly expensive process to do it. But that was the only way we could do it. And again, very proud, a unique feature. Again, once we have the Sigma circuit and transformer inside here, ×2. So it's essentially 2 Sigmas in a Blumlein configuration in one microphone, and it has the adapter cable here, so you've got a tail with 2 XLRs. We're using a Mogami cable and the Neutrik XLR outputs as well, so a really high-end, high-grade product. Now, people are going to be asking, I'm sure, about pricing, so this is important. The Sigma 2 will be coming to market at £699 or thereabouts at this moment. Yeah, it again with Sontronics, the whole product
UK
line.
made.
Absolutely. This was all about being affordable and providing value for money, but of course keeping quality. The Delta also we will be providing at £699 again thereabouts according to exchange rates right now. And Apollo 2 is going to be coming in at around £1,500 thereabouts. Shipping times, and again, people will be keen to hear. We've been working like Trojans at the moment, and these 2 microphones in front will be due to ship just before the end of February. Right. So we are literally making them right now. I should
Not
say,
long.
actually making them right now. The Apollo 2 is likely to come through towards the end of February, early March. we would like to also introduce the new flight case here, just over to the right.
I love a good case. I love a good
We've
case.
been using aluminium cases for many of the products for a long time, but because once again that we want to show that these products can be taken out of the studio without any worries, so a very strong ABS, sealable, lockable flight case, foam insert, and this thing, it's oil-proof, waterproof, shock-proof, everything. You can throw it down a cliff, and with a bit of luck, it's still be fine at the end of the day. But what you've got there is an upgrade to where we had before, and a visual cue to the fact that this mic can be taken out on the road, whether it be a single ribbon or the stereo hollow.
I'm really impressed, man. I love the way that I can tell a lot of thought's gone into it. You're saving people. I first bought years ago, a few ribbons and put them in a Blumlein player, and I had dodgy stands, because then you've got to get better stands that are strong enough to hold them. That's saving an engineer a job there. I love how you thought about this, and even for the mic spotters, I can tell you're thinking about what's coming in the future. The fact that you want people to spot your mics and you're proud of them.
Huge detail.
And that the final, it's fine having an aluminium case, but if you go on a plane, that's not what you want. And you've saved all the touring guys. You've saved them buying another Pelly or using
The curious thing is that the aluminium cases look beautiful, but
they're going to get put in a Pelly.
They get damaged.
Yeah, man.
And no one wants their lovely aluminium case to get damaged, even though that it's it's there to protect the mic. One other thing I'd like just to point out, if I may, just a cue about attention to detail. In the old days, the other mics we had didn't have any indication as to which was the front or the rear. So now we have got rear on the back, so everyone can see the reverse phase side of the microphone.
This is solid.
This is all engraved.
So
this is aluminium
posh looking.
engraved. Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, we again, attention to
proper
detail.
posh, like.
We're about attention to detail. I think it's important.
Yeah.
The client base that we have now expects that of us, to be honest with you. We have the wonderful Abbey Road studios using in many of our microphones. Many of the Hollywood movies you might have seen, I should say films for our English friends. At the end of the day, they're using those microphones for soundtrack use, recording studios, everything.
And you've got a really cool. Can I talk about? Sorry, I'm going off piste here, but we're here, and you're so lovely to have you here. The off piste, these couple at the back. What have we got? So
Right.
that's brand new.
I'm glad you spotted that.
I just want to kind of do an all-encompassing one with you because it's fab.
Well, look, we decided to bring this baby along because some time ago we found that our original Halo guitar microphone, the dynamic guitar mic, which is exactly the same styling image, people were using them for vocal use. There's a lot of the reenactment groups of 40s, 50s, rockabilly type stuff. They love the styling. It evokes that kind of image. So I was getting a little
seen
bit...
it pop up on like mahogany sessions and things.
So I am thinking, well, look, I'm sorry, I didn't design it for that, and I'm worried because that mic for the guitar amp is not designed for singing into. It doesn't have any pop protection. It's
thank you, but no thank you.
It's a cylinder, so you're talking down a tube and it's cutting out all the low frequency, and I'm really worried. But the bottom line was people loved it, so I thought, well, look, let's try and do something about it. So I bought a 3D printer, I learned the SolidWorks CAD software and sat at home one evening and designed a ported cylinder, printed it out, put the capsule from our award-winning Solo. May I just show our Tech Award nomination?
Oh, what a mate!
Pre-award, I hope. And the bottom line was, in it went, ported case, and suddenly all those low frequencies and the beautiful presence detail of the Solo microphone are now available.
I love that.
This. Now this, I hasten to add, is a prototype. My dear father actually managed to help me cut and mill out this porting before we came out.
You can see it. It's so exciting. I'd love it. I want this one.
It's a little bit homemade, but the finished item will be the same depth cylinder as the Halo, so approximately half this size, and colouring will be like the grey anodizing that you see on the Delta as well. So it all looks smart. This is.
I think this is bang on. There's so many bands I see out there at the moment gigging live as well. Like that, they'll love this. And on the live track. Is this something to do with live as well?
These are our other points. I won't go into detail.
Okay, we won't talk about.
A bit older. That's the system. But just to come back to this briefly. Again, people I'm sure would love to know the sort of price point. We're aiming at around £199 for this, and if all goes well in production, it should be with us towards the mid-end of March.
Love that. And as an alternative, there's always a singer who wants to stand out and gets an alternative, and it's not going to break the bank at all for that. Fabulous. Yeah, mate, thanks for taking the time.
A real pleasure.
And it's been a real pleasure to see. Yeah, come check it out in the store because this is a real big step up, man. All the best.